This is Ethan Banks from the Packet Pushers podcast, and what you're about to hear is an excerpt from a show that I recorded with Ryan Adzima on wireless QoS. In this excerpt, I asked Ryan a question that I honestly think I know the answer to, and it turns out I was wrong. Have a listen. Now, wireless QoS isn't something I'm going to deploy in my enterprise for fun. I'm going to have some reason that I want to use it. So in your experience, what are the major use cases for wireless QoS?
Well, so that's one of the things. Wireless QoS is required for your modern technologies, for AC, AX. You really want the speeds and the data rates that it's going to offer. You have to have it enabled. Most people don't touch it. Just having it enabled by default is fine. It's when you get into things like life-saving devices, your Vocera badges in hospitals for nurses, emergency call buttons, and specifically enterprise voice over wireless. That's when you better know what you're doing with QoS, because you're going to need to set it up not just in the air, but translate it down to the wire for proper performance.
Well, you just said something really interesting there. So in my brain, this was a feature I would be enabling and doing something with. What you're saying is based on like the AC standard, it's going to be on by default. I'm going to have, it's at least going to be there and doing something, whether I've configured it or not.
Yep, it's there. It's not necessarily doing anything unless your applications are tagging, and most application, consumer applications aren't. But your home network is running it. It's all the part of the WMM Wi-Fi certification, and it just, which I think we're going to talk about in a little bit. But
we definitely are.
It's there. It's always there on these newer standards. It's when you start configuring and tweaking it that it starts to get fun. If wireless QoS is interesting to you, you should head on over to packetpushers.net and have a look at our heavy networking podcast series and find this show that we published on wireless QoS during September 2019. We go deep. Ryan and I talk about contention windows. We talk about the standards involved. We talk about wireless multimedia extensions. And we talk about what you can and can't accomplish with wireless QoS. It's kind of a big deal if you're running voice over your wireless network, and there's lots of other use cases too that Ryan and I get into. Again, heavy networking and a search for wireless QoS, and you'll come up with this episode. Hope to see you there.